we're going to start talking about editing the network. It is part of the ICM basic tutorials. The first section is creating and editing network objects. In this video, we're going to talk about adding nodes and links. It is possible to add nodes and links to an existing network, and we're going to talk about how to do so in this video. ICM can also facilitate rapidly adding nodes and links to the GeoPlan without naming each object and manually input the object property sheet. This means that you can carry out a process similar to digitizing on the GeoPlan view. So you can add nodes and links very rapidly. Each node can also be automatically given an ID. And you can also connect links and nodes together automatically. And you can include adding bins in the links, and it allows you to build up your network structure really fast. Now we're going to talk about how to add a node. Nodes can be added on the GeoPlan view, the long section view, and the grid view. First, we're going to talk about how to add nodes on the GeoPlan. First, we want to ensure that the network is open on the GeoPlan. So we can open the Langley Network TUT as an example. After you open the network, you should be able to see a GeoPlan toolbar here. If you don't see this toolbar, you can right-click on the toolbar section on the top and make sure that the GeoPlan toolbar is turned on. And then you can click on the node from this drop-down menu within GeoPlan toolbar, and then click on this new object icon. And then you can see there is a circle attached to your cursor. And then you can click on a blank space to create a new node. And then you can give it a node ID. And then you can select the node type from this drop-down menu. If it's a manhole, you can select manhole or brick or storage and so on. For now, I'm going to click on manhole. And you can also select a system type for this node. You can select combined file, overland sanctuary, storm, and other. And you can click OK to add this node. And then a property sheet should be showing up here. And then you can input other attribute in the property sheet. If you want to create a node on the link, you can also click on this new object icon again, and then click on existing links. This time, you are not only getting a node section, the split existing link section is also showing up here. And then you have the option to split the existing links. And then if you click on the split checkbox, then these links will be automatically split in two. And then each of them will be connected to the new node. You can also assign a flag to this existing link, which will be talked about in the tutorial video as well. And then you can hit OK to create that nodes. For now, I'll just cancel this. And you can select this node and then click on this delete selection to delete the node. Okay, now we're going to talk about create nodes on the long section view. First, we want to open the long section view. So you can have a selection here and then make sure that it's connected. And then you can click this new long section to open the long section view for the current selection. Similarly, you want to select node from this drop-down menu here. And then you can click on this new object. In the long section view, you can only create nodes to split an existing pipe. So we are going to click on one of the links here. As you can see, the split is already checked and you cannot change it. It's grayed out. But you have the option to set the flag for the split link. Um, uh, Similarly, you can also define a node ID here and then define the node type and the system type. And after you create the node, you should be able to see the property sheet showing up as well, and then you can change other properties for the nodes too. Okay, so and then we can click on this undo to undo the creation. And next, we're going to talk about how to add nodes on the grid view. So we are going to close this long section for now. To add a node in grid view, first we are going to open the node grid. To do so, you can either click on this grid window icon on the toolbar and then select new nodes window, or you can click on this window menu and then click on grid window and then choose new node window. After you have the node grid opened, like I'm showing here, you can scroll the scroller down to the bottom, and then you should be able to see there is a blank column, sorry, a blank row at the bottom of the grid, and then you are able to type in a node ID on this row. After you do so, when you click your cursor on other part of the grid, this node will be created for you. Again, you can change your attribute in the grid view, or you can double click on this row to bring out the property sheet for this new node, and then you can change the properties there. Similarly, you can click on this undo button to undo the creation of nodes. Next, we are going to talk about how to add links. Links can be added on the GeoPlan view or the grid view as well. So I'm going to close this node grid for now, and then we're going to go to the first step, ensure that the network is open on the GeoPlan. Again, I will be using the Langley Network TUT as an example. And then to create a new link, we're going to first select link from this drop-down menu, and then click on this new object icon. And you can see there's a link attached to our cursor, which means that we're in this creation of links tool here. And then you also need to make sure that you click on this use snap mode. So if you click on this new snap mode, this should be selected here. And then when you move your cursor really close to a node, you should be able to see a cross, which means that you are snapping your newly created links to this node. So first, we're gonna click on the upstream node of your new links. We're gonna use this as upstream links, upstream node. So we're gonna click on this, and then you can see that there is a red link extended from your upstream node, and then you can click on the downstream node to finish the creation of links. And then you will be able to see that there is a new link dialog showing up. And then you should be able to define a suffix. This is optional. If you leave it as blank, ICM will create a suffix for you, so you don't need to worry about it. And then you can choose which type of link you want to add. You can choose conduit, channel, covered inlet, covered outlet, orifice, pump, weir, sluice, and so on. And then you can also select which system type you want to assign this link to. You can have a combined file, overland, century, and so on. And you can click OK to finish creating the links. Similarly, you will have a property sheet showing up here, and then you can try to add your other properties in this property sheet. This concludes how to use how to create links in the GeoPlan. Next, we're gonna talk about how to create links on the grid view. So first, we want to open the link grid. So I'm gonna use this grid window icon, and then choose New Links window to open the links grid. And then we can choose which tab or which type of links we want to create. If you want to create a conduit, you can add links in this conduit tab. If you want to create pumps, you can click on this pump tab and then create your new links in this tab. But for this training, I'm going to use this conduit tab as an example. So similarly, we want to scroll down to the bottom, and then we should be able to see a row with a star sign, and then we can choose the US node ID from this drop-down menu here, and then we can choose our downstream node ID from the drop-down menu here. And then we can click on anywhere in this grid view to finish creating this new link. And then you can double click on this new link to view the property sheet to modify other properties, or you can change your properties in the grid view as well. Again, you can use this undo button to undo the creation of your new link. Next, we're going to talk about examples of adding nodes and links. So I'm going to close this network for now. And then I'm going to go back to the tutorial master database tutorial model group. And then we want to open the Langley network new estate network. So it should be underneath this Langley network TUT. And then we can find the Langley network new estate here. And then we want to ensure that we have the correct unit set up. So we can go to our tools and then options to see that the display unit is set up to be metric here. If it's not, you can click on this metric native to change your unit to be metric and then click OK. And then we can display the background map if it's not already displayed. Again, you can use this GS layer control to add additional background layers. But since we already have a layer list saved from our previous tutorial, we can just drag this layer list map C into the GeoPlan to add the background layer here. So we're going to add additional pipes near the node 446 to 8202. So we're going to zoom in on the road where the pipes are to be added. So to do that, we can use this find function, and then we can copy this node ID. So we can copy the node ID here into this quick find text box, and then click on this find. And then you can see that this node will be centered in the center of your GeoPlan. And then this is the general location of the new links. And then we're going to create new links along this road. So we can use this measure distance tool to estimate the total length of the new run. So you can click on this measure distance tool here, and then click on this node. And then you can see there's a red line extended from that node again. And then you can click on the bend point, and then click on another bend point. And then you can see that in the distance will be showing up in the status bar here. So this is the distance or the length of the new pipes. So we can click on this escape key to go back to our select tool. And then we want to add nodes at each of the 3 road junctions. To add the node, we can click on node from this drop-down menu here, and then click on this new object. And then we can click on the center of the first road junction here, which is here. And then the create new node dialog is displayed. And then we want to enter this 446290002 as node ID. And then we want to select manhole as our node type, and then the system type to be combined. And then we can hit OK. And then you can see that the property sheet for this 446290002 is displayed here. We will be populating the other properties in another training, so we will leave the node definition as default. So we will continue. Continue repeating the steps to create two other nodes, 003 and 04. So I'm going to do this really quickly. Again, I want to make sure that this new object is selected. And then we want to create another node here. We call it 446290003. And then hit OK. And then click create another node here. Okay, after we create the 3 nodes here, we're going to connect up the nodes. So first, we're going to click on the links. And then click on this new object. And then we want to click the starting point for the links. In this case, it's going to be this node. And then we want to create a bend halfway between the 2 nodes. So we want to single click on it and then finish the links on this end node. And then we will change the system type to be combined as well, and make sure that the link type is set to be conduit, and then hit OK. And then you can see that the conduit property sheet is displayed here. Note that the required data is highlighted by the red flag, and we will be specified this required data later. So we're going to repeat step 5C to 5F to create 2 other links. And then we want to also make sure that we can include the bend if necessary. So I'm going to create 2 other links. First, we're going to click on the starting node and then finish it at the end node and then hit OK. And then do the same thing for these links. This time we're going to include multiple bend to mimic the shape of the road. And then finish off at the end node and then hit OK. Now we can see that we created this 3 nodes and the 3 links here. And then we want to commit the changes to save our creation. So we can right click on this Langley network new estate, and then click on commit changes to master database, and then click OK to commit changes to server. And then for the validation, we will click on no. So we want to save the changes without validation. And now it concludes the training.